Hello and welcome back. Beata Gillette here, the Growth Architect, and today is our third training in our series of the 5-Star Success Blueprint. And as the name suggests, 5 stars. It means that there are 5 trainings in which I'll take you through this every single step by step of the 5-Star Success Blueprint to help you understand how to grow, build, and scale a business. Now, in the very first training, we talked about the idea on how important it is to flush that out. In the second training, we talked about the offer. And in this training today, we talk about building systems. And when you look at the graphic of the 5-Star Success Blueprint, you'll see that it kind of is a circular motion. So there is, at the top is the idea, then comes the offer, then comes the systems, then comes the team, and then comes you. And it will continuously repeat itself on every phase of your business. So every time that you add something new or you are growing, you need to go through the same process. So the process is really universally applicable for you. Now, in the idea of building these systems, the objective is that a lot of times I see that people are getting CRMs and Salesforce and HubSpot and High Level and Keep and MailChimp and Lead Pages and all these different systems without really understanding on what it is that they're building. So back to the original idea of growth architecture. Architect growth. We architect growth first with an overall strategy and a business model of what it is that we do. When we have that, then and only then are we looking into what is it, what are we selling, and how are we going to be delivering it, which is what we're talking about right now. You know who your client is. You know your unapologetic value proposition. You know the problems that your clients are having. You know how to solve your problems, clients. You know how to solve your clients' problems. And now you're building the systems that will deliver that offer to solve the problems to your client. So as you can see, everything is very simply set up on top of each other. What is a system? A system is a device or a technology solution or a process that you use when you do a task multiple times over and over and over again. For example, if I am speaking from stage and I give a handout, on this handout is a call to action. This call to action gets them somewhere on a website where they're getting something from me that they perceive valuable that solves their problem, geared toward the ideal client. And now, as I speak multiple times or more and more and more, and more people come, I don't want to have to deliver this one by one. I want to deliver this consistently in a way so when they go to the website and they fill in the information, there's a landing page, and then something fires, and then they get the thing, and then they get a series of emails. There's another call to action where they're being invited to talk to me. So all of these things need to be built on systems, unless you want to go nuts and do all of this manually, step by step, every single time on your own, which we all have done as we got started, but it is certainly not an effective way to run a business and a guaranteed way to have stuff fall through the cracks all the time. I've seen this, to give you the other side of this example, where people go around with a little bowl in an event and say, I'm going to give away this system. All you have to do is put your business card in here. And then they enter these business cards manually, and then somebody's going to get the price, and then everybody ends on their list. Now, that's another way to do it, but I prefer obvious and automation. Today, we have things that read business cards that automatically add them into your database, and off we go. But that's a system. So however you want to generate leads, stay in touch with your clients, get you referrals, those are all systems that we can build. So let's go over some of these systems that need to be built in a successful business. There is a lead generation part of the business, which we just talked about, and I gave you an example on. There is a marketing piece of your business, where you go out and you give free trainings like this one away. And then they go to a website, which we send you to, the 5-Star Success Blueprint, to go pick up your 5-Star Success Blueprint, which we usually charge $27 for. But if you have the code and because you're in the Facebook group, you're going to get that for free. That's a marketing action. And as you can see with the example of you being here, it works. So it has to be something that's valuable. It has to be something that's well done. Sometimes I look at this stuff and I'm going, Jesus Christ, it's like really awkward or awful. So make sure it's something that is valuable to people. Next, you are having delivery mechanisms of onboarding. So you could systematize how somebody gets onboarded. So they're signing up for something. What do they get? They have to sign an agreement. They have to sign a contract. They have to do X, Y, Z. And when they do that, they are also in a system, in a follow-up system. So when somebody signs up for one of our programs, they go to a website. There's the transaction of the credit card. And then there are multiple pages on how they sign our consulting agreement, on the preparation that they need to take, on what they can expect. So all of that is laid out. That's all systematized. There is a system for interviewing and finding people. If you are in a business that has a high turnover rate, let's say you work with nurses and you constantly need to find new nurses, you can create a system for an interview process. We did this for Blue Sky Energy with one of our partners, where we created this whole interview process so that the business owner always needs to look at resumes because they're in a construction type business where people are notoriously flaky, that they are getting these consistent resumes, but he doesn't want to look at all these resumes. He doesn't have enough time. So we had to build a whole system where, with the help of AI now, this entire interview process is completely evaluated and it shows up in the project management software. And all he has to do is look at the project management software's entries that is based on AI recommendations based on criteria that we designed. So that's a system. So you need to think about what are the things that you can systematize in your business. That's one of the things that we do for our clients, is to help them find these processes and help them figure out what are some of these things that you can actually automate, systematize, put a process behind it, because it makes things a lot easier. Another process, for example, would be something if you are asking for referrals. So if somebody has been working with you and you know that the program that you're in is, let's say, 12 weeks, like, turn your talent into business, which is what I'm going to tell you about today a little bit. That's a 12-week program to elevate your expertise. And when you have that, then I know it's 12 weeks. So if I want to have a referral, I can schedule this out ahead of time and systematize this so that it'll send it out in the 12th or 13th week, which is a heck of a lot better than having to remember to do all of this manually. So systems are built. Once you know, again, let's go back to the 5-Star Success Blueprint. I'm going to hammer this home until you can say this in your sleep. In the 5-Star Success Blueprint, once the idea is clear, you know who you're selling it to. You know what you're selling. You know the problem you're solving. You know who you're solving it for. You know what the offer is. You know exactly what you need to do, because then you can whiteboard on how the offer that you make in the client transformation journey, let's say in phase 1, needs to get delivered and automated. And how in the client transformation journey in phase number 2, that piece needs to be delivered to them in what kind of format. We know the formulas of what happens first, what happens next, what happens after that. What if they say yes? What if they say no? A lot of this can be automated right now in all these amazing systems, and they just keep getting better and better and better. And let me just say, with the help of AI, the amount of stuff that we can do is ridiculous. I'm going to give you another example. So we have working with a client who has a person that is dyslexic. And this person is required, however, to write emails. And we know that this person is terrified of writing these emails because it's going to take him, a couple of times as long as it would take somebody who does not have to manage dyslexia. So we are developing a system for them where the employee literally can just go on a phone and record the conversation, follow up, and AI will run the entire analysis on what he says. Obviously, there's criteria 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that he has to follow. And by the time he's from that job at home, he already will have a draft of an email that all he now has to do is look at and approve and then send, which will take hours and hours and hours of this person's plate, a lot of anxiety, and it will make the operations much smoother. I want you to sit down here now for a second and think about this from your perspective. What are the systems that you feel you could be automating? And write this list down. Like, where are all the pieces that you need a system, that you need automation? Lead generation, conversion, follow-up, referrals, retrainings, marketing, sales, delivery. What are all the things that you can think of where you feel that a system would be super, super helpful? Now, while you do that, I want to talk about the next thing in turning your talent into a business and what we've kind of come up with. So for those of you who know me, I've been doing this for decades. Obviously, I'm not 20, I'm not 30. I sometimes think, I'm really honest to myself, that I think I have pretty good ideas, but what I'm really, really good at is to help other people land planes. I work with a lot of visionaries, a lot of creative people, a lot of people that have big, crazy ideas, because I can land planes. Where a lot of people, they just like to be at 30,000 feet and they circle. Eventually they run out of gas and then the plane crashes and burns. We don't want that for you. So there's two options that I thought about when I was putting this training together. So number one, there's always a percentage here where you look at this and you go, this is pretty good. This gives me exactly what I need to know. And you're off to the races and you're running. And I'm happy, we designed this for free. We wanted to give this away. We wanted to help you. We know there's a lot of negativity in the market, a lot of fear in the market. I don't really buy into any of that. I know that there's opportunity out there. And if I can help you in my ways, my team can help you in their ways to get this business up and running and make some money, we are super happy about that. But there's going to be a percentage of you where you're going to say, you know what, Beate, that even though this sounds all very easy and simple, I'm overwhelmed because this sounds like there's a lot of steps that need to go into it. There are, and in all honesty, there's stuff that you need to do. There's stuff that you need to think about. This is, building a business isn't a dream your business. It is a build your business. It means, take on our example to our first training, when you look at the blueprint on how to build a house, someone's going to have to pick up these bricks from whatever the supply store. Someone's going to have to mix the cement. Someone's going to have to carry that stuff back and forth. Somebody's going to have to actually build it. And most likely, you are going to be the one who has to build it. So if at any time in this training, there's a moment where you say, I would be really great if I had somebody who had this figured out step by step by step, which we have, but who will take me by the hand and guide me through this. We have created Turn Your Talent into a Business, into a 12-week program that is designed to elevate your expertise. And what I looked at in the market was that I felt there is a lot of information where people just want to push your online courses on you. And I don't really think that that works so well anymore, because there's a part where you have to ask questions, where you have to interact. So we are actually giving this as a done with you program. And it's divided in two pieces. It's a 6-week where we go through the modules and we go through this step by step by step. And if you want to check it out, go to turnyourtalentintoabusiness.com and you'll see what the 6 different modules are. And then once we are done with the identification of what needs to be done, we're moving for the next 6 weeks into the actual execution, into the implementation. And we designed an implementation program where we will help you to actually do the things that now need to be implemented, build this business so that within the next 12 weeks, you can have this business actually functioning, and up and running. Now, remember, I gave you the What's Your Talent Worth quiz URL at whatsyourtalentworth.com to have the number, because we need to know what the number is that we're aiming for. Because when we're building your business, when we're turning your talent into a business, we are reverse engineering what we want to achieve. So it's not like we're having these conversations of that hypothetical scenario conversations. We're having real conversations. Like, we will look at that number from that quiz, and I will ask you, now that you have this number of the quiz that whatever says $750,000, $500,000, maybe $1 million, maybe $1.5 million, maybe $5 million. I'm going to ask you how you feel about that number and on whether or not this is a number you want to aim, because it's your number. It would not show up in mindset work. It is not possible for this number to show up unless this number is possible for you. How is that for a mind-blowing event? That's one of the principles of mindset and spirituality and universal power. Is it cannot show up unless it's possible for you. So it's not now it's shown up. Now you have this number. What are you going to do? And that's the next step of this that I want you to ponder over. I mean, we have 2 more free trainings. There is nothing you need to decide right now. I mean, if you want to decide it, you can. But I want you to be certain about this. My job is to help you to figure out how to do this. Your job is to figure out on whether or not you can do this on your own, whether or not we are the right person to help you with this, or maybe there's somebody completely different that you want to go to. But I will tell you this, in my experience, building it with someone else is exponentially faster, because I see things you cannot see, because I have heard it all. And when I hear something that I haven't heard, I know you're onto something. Happens all the time. I'm seeing, just to give you an example and gestalt it a little bit, I've been talking to, actually, interestingly enough, quite a few people in ministry. And so the spirituality, God, religion, Christianity has come up multiple times. And I do believe that when I look at the market right now, and I look at the high suicide rates, and I look at what the mental state of many people is, and anxiety, I do believe that there's a large number of healers that are required, necessary, and probably being invited by Spirit right now to take on this next step to help people to calm down and be healthy and be mentally fit. And when I look at this, there was this gentleman, and he had this podcast. It was a very highly performing podcast. But what he was doing was not connected to the podcast. It literally took me 20 minutes. That's not something he can do. He's been trying this for years. It took me 20 minutes. So there is something to be said. And that's something for you to really think about. Do you want someone like me to put their head into your business and help you to get there? Shortcuts. It's all about shortcuts. You can figure out everything on your own. There's no question in my mind. And some of you will. But some of you will say, I do not have the time. Then if that's you, then please do reach out and DM us or schedule an uncovery session at uncoverysession.com. And we'll be happy to talk to you. And at the very least, tell you what it takes to do this. Because it is not rocket science. What we do here is very deliberate. So let's recap what we were talking about today. We talked about in the third part of the training today that you got to have clarity on your idea, got to have clarity on your offer, and then you can build the systems and automate and build a process and a workflow around the things that you do in your business, which frees up your time. It sets your business up to be able to be scaled and grow, actually, probably much, 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 much quicker. I told you that the number from the quiz, What's Your Talent Worth, is really a requirement. So if you haven't done that, you need to do that so that you know what your earning potential is. I also told you that there's a discrepancy between the earning potential, what the number is that you're making right now, because if you would be making this money, you wouldn't be here. You're here because you want me to help you to figure out how to get to that number. At least you have that number now. You know what your earning potential is. Then I told you about turn your talent into a business, get you thinking about on whether or not this is something that you want to do, where you want to build your business in the next 12 weeks to have something tangible, a business model that's truly connected with who you are, your values, your passion, your vision, and your mission that delivers high quality results to your clients. This is no foo-foo promises. We have literally thousands of people that have taken this program. My goal is to inspire as many people as possible, make as big as an impact as possible, because my impact is measured in how much impact that you are making. So if I don't help you make an impact, I'm not reaching my goal, and this by design. We sat down as a company. We agreed that we're here to help other people make an impact. And that's what I'm here to do. So if you have any questions, please go ahead, put them in the comments. Really think about this today. Make sure you got your list of systems ready so you know what you need to be building, and then watch our schedule until we announce the next training. Thank you so much for watching and listening.